The Dodgers let one get away on getaway day. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to Dodgers Latest here on our YouTube channel. Again, can't thank you guys enough. We're keeping the channel growing. Love the comments. We're responding, so please like, respond, subscribe, tell a friend, share, do anything you need to do to get this thing going. Dodgers Latest is strong, and our community is growing thanks to you. And you can always hit me up on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. All right, so the Dodgers, it was getaway going for the sweep. Clayton Kershaw pitched a gem. What could possibly go wrong? Well, the Dodgers imploded, blew a 4-1 lead. The lead got to 4-2 before the Guardians blew up and got 5 in the bottom of the 8th and beat the Dodgers by a score of 7-4 to salvage one game. Dodgers end up winning 2 out of 3 in the land and do a 500 road trip, winning 3, losing 3. Remember, they lost 2 out of 3 in Queens against the Mets and ended up winning 2 out of 3 in Cleveland. The good news, well, that was Clayton Kershaw. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Pretty great bounce back outing. That was his 3rd start since coming off the injured list. So it seems to be that he is moving forward, and we will probably see him in Dodger Stadium against the Mets early next week. Dodgers are off today. Yankees come to town over the weekend, and then the Mets 4-4. So we'll probably see Clayton again in that Mets series. But again, he looked good. He looked like the vintage Clayton Kershaw at times. Again, little by little, building blocks. Good to see Clayton going, but the Dodgers could not preserve the win for him. Clayton still stuck on 212 wins, trying to get to 213, which I think is ironic, being an LA area code, the original OG LA area code. So Clayton trying to maybe get 213, what used to be the 213. But the bad was Tanner Scott, and we're starting to have what I like to call a Tanner Scott problem. I mean, look at those numbers. His last 7 appearances, he has got an ERA of 12.15. That's 9 earned runs and 6 2/3 innings, 11 hits. That was his 5th blown save last night in Cleveland. That's 5 blown saves. Remember, we're starting to get into Craig Kimbrell country. A couple years back, Craig Kimbrell, he got run out of town because he blew 5 saves in a season. Well, already Tanner Scott has got 5 blown saves. He's in the first year of a $72 million 4-year contract. Guy was an all-star with the Marlins, came up with the Padres during the trading deadline at the end of last year. Dodgers saw him in the playoffs, but again, he has... I can't tell you that he's been terrible, but 5 blown saves, and they have been absolute just implosions. Dave Roberts, after the game, basically said, hey, the problem with him, he's just not putting guys away. He's leaving pitches over the plate, walking guys, and the Dodgers have to seriously question if Tanner Scott is the closer. I get it. It's May. We're not even into the All-Star break yet. Dodgers still atop the heap in the National League West, 34-22. They lead the Padres by 2, the Giants by 3, the Diamondbacks by 7. So they're in good shape there. But with the toll that the bullpen has been given this year because of all the starters to the injuries, we can't just have guys constantly blowing saves. And this, for Tanner Scott, in this road trip, he blew the game Friday. He blew a game in New York, got a save in Cleveland, and then the next day turns around and it all blows up in his face. And until he figures it out, maybe Tanner Scott isn't the closer of this team. Maybe he's a setup guy. Maybe that's how he gets well. The Dodgers have kind of gone by closer by committee, not really assigning a guy, even though Evan Phillips was the guy toward the end of last year. He ended up leading the team with 18 saves. But when a guy has 18 saves, it tells me one of two things. Either they're spreading him out, kind of like a closer by committee, or he became a closer toward the end of the year. And I think that's exactly what happened with Evan Phillips. So my friend, Tanner Scott, has got to get well, and he's got to get well soon. Otherwise, the Dodgers have quite the sling and weight around their neck with that 4-year, $72 million contract that Tanner Scott has. So, if indeed we need to make a change at closer, is Michael Kopech the guy? Well, remember, Michael Kopech was brilliant for the Dodgers down the stretch last year. Remember, they made a trade, got him from the White Sox, 1.13 ERA, ended up having right forearm inflammation, went down to the minor leagues, has made 3 minor league appearances, touched 100 down in Oklahoma City, looks like he's almost ready to go. Dave Roberts said he's probably want him to pitch 2 or 3 more times in AAA. That's maybe a week and a half. So will we see him maybe when the Dodgers go on the road after this 7-game homestand with the Yankees and Mets? Possibly. Maybe they may want to rush him a little bit considering the bullpen issues, and you need some fresher guys out there. And we talked about Evan Phillips. Evan Phillips, he was brilliant. 63 strikeouts in just a tick under 55 innings, was the de facto closer. Ended up having a tear in his rotator cuff, which shut him down in the postseason. And then coming back, well, he ended up having some elbow inflammation. And he is a little bit more of a troubling issue because the Dodgers don't know when he'll be back. The Dodgers don't know if he'll be back. And, of course, Blake Trinan, he's hurt as well. He hasn't even started a rehab assignment. So the guys who have done it, the guys who were in the biggest moments, Phillips and Trinan, are probably not going to be seeing any action until maybe after the All-Star break, if at all. So that maybe leaves this for Michael Kopech when he comes back. Would you want to see Michael Kopech as a closer, or do you want to stick with Tanner Scott? That's a good question. Hit me up on X and Instagram at JRodShow. So if there is no internal candidates, well, what about some external candidates for the Dodgers? Remember, they've got a guy who he's going to be a Hall of Famer in Kenley Jansen, right? 458 saves, 4th all time. Well, he had 350 of those saves as a Dodger over a dozen seasons. One was part of the Dodgers World Championship team in 2020. He's with the Angels, got a 1-year, $10 million deal. He's got 11 saves already. Could Kenley Jansen be a guy the Dodgers go out and try to get if they don't have any internal candidates? Interesting concept there. Again, 350 saves, 12 seasons with the Dodgers. He's got a 1-year deal, $10 million, so you're not committing anything, and he's 4th all-time in saves, so he's seen it all. Now, of course, with Kenley Jansen's situation, the Dodgers would have to trade somebody to the Angels. With the Angels kind of scuffling now, they've lost 5 in a row. They're 5.5 games out of first place. Maybe they'd be willing toward the end to try to trade Jansen, but I personally would love to see Kenley Jansen return in Dodger blue. Now, other guys possibly. What about Pete Fairbanks of the Tampa Bay Rays? He's got 10 saves, got a great ERA of 2. He's in the last year of a 3-year, $12 million contract. Does have a $1 million club option, club buyout for next year, or a $7 million club option. I think he would probably get bought out by the Rays or the Dodgers. Tampa Bay is a little tricky. They're in second place, 28 and 27, but I love a Pete Fairbanks. That could be an option at closer. And then another option is Kyle Finnegan of the Washington Nationals. I know the Phillies have been kicking the tire on him. He is at the end of his contract. He's got a 1-year, $6 million deal. He's got 15 saves this year. So between Finnegan and Fairbanks, you got guys that have been around and are young. And you got Jansen, who has been the old workhorse and has seen it all. So it's an interesting concept for the Dodgers if they're looking to replace Tanner Scott or they ride it out. And if they don't have an internal candidate, I would probably go make Kopech the closer, maybe have Scott be the setup guy. If you can't do that, then it's time to look outside and see who possibly could come in and try to help this team out. No game today. The Yankees come in tomorrow. We'll break it all down for you. It's a World Series reunion. Dodgers have already announced who they will have pitching in the series as well. Friday night looking like to be the best matchup. We'll break it all down for you tomorrow. Remember to hit me up on Instagram at JRodShow as well as on X, and keep following us here on Dodgers Latest. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and remember, it's always time for Dodger baseball.